Egypt here. It's kind of been a fighting game so far. We had overtime in that first one. I loved it.
It was a really good game. I mean, honestly, there was a real world in which Egypt, who it felt like they kind of came alive at the tail end, could have actually pushed that in that overtime to maybe even go in their favor. I just think a little bit of slow starting towards overtime sort of killed them a little bit, and the momentum was sort of against them. And sadly, for them, they just slightly drifted apart. However, map number 2, Dust2, is their pick. So maybe, just maybe, a world in which they can push this towards a third. South Africa, of course, known as one of the scariest sides in this qualifier. Probably for most people, us included, were one of our favorites to make it through to the World Esports Championships. And we'll have to see whether that is the case. We're heading underway. It is Dust2. It's Egypt's map pick coming up next. And we're excited to see how this one begins. South Africa will be starting on that CT side. Egypt's on the T side as well. We get the standard buys coming through. Armor across the ball kit. And
oh, look at the smoke already. From T-spawn, they threw that smoke to the door. So they're going to go. They're not slowing down. It's a nice setup for it here, but actually, honestly, great headshot too on top of everything else. Bingo trying to get back into B2K. Will find a couple of shots as they try to get the retake on, but it's not working out so well. Egypt well on their way on this one. The execute from the start, the pace that they set, and then B2K holding that upper dark position. Sick play.
That's a really nice round, right? And that's one of those things where it's a call from spawn where things go right immediately.
Yeah.
The opening kill goes their way, and the rotates who come through just unfortunately can't get that much legway in that situation. So very, very nicely done. As it will be Egypt getting that first round on the board for them. Kickstarting that T side well, and it will mean a good opportunity to just get a bit of confidence coming in towards map number 2. Map number 1, the end, was, I think, a really good showcase from both sides. It just slightly pipped to the post there, Egypt. They want to come in towards this one, set the tone nice and early, and they've done exactly that. South Africa, low buy from them on this CT side. Not expecting really a hell of a lot in this one. So Egypt should, in North Area, get a pretty clean 2-0. And in doing so, going to be exactly what you want to see out the gates, right? See, we'll talk about setting the tone, but just kind of giving them a bit of confidence to say, right, this is Dust2, what is statistically quite an even map. Let's just try and see how much we can get in the early part of this game but before we get South Africa up and running. We know how good they can be on the gun rounds. Bingo for the first. For more as well, going to get overwhelmed, maybe, or instead on for the ace. Gets the first 4 in a matter of moments, one of which being with the Flames, and Awesome just doesn't want to give him that one. He's going to completely run away from this.
Man, the timing of that Molotov was exposing him to a little bit of risk, but overall well handled. And he will get the ace at the end. Why not? Awesome. That's a gentlemanly thing to do,
I do think it's a smart way in which, because he saw Mac 10 in towards CT. So it's actually like, do I want to give the Mac 10 kill bonus there, or do I actually want to just give the ace over towards the AK? It's only 100 kill bonus rather than 600. I think that's a smart way to play it. You're going to die anyway. You're a dead man walking. You're completely pincered in. You may as well fall to the AK. It's going to give less bonus on that side. And sure, Bingo gets his ace, which is a real confidence booster for him. He had a really good tail end of that map as well. In those clutches, looks very, very good. Yeah. So starting well like this is decent. First gun round for South Africa. Very early, we get to see this sort of litmus test about how they look on towards Dust2 CT. Can be quite difficult at times. It's one of those maps which is obviously quite big in a sense, so it's really easy to be spread out thin. In comparison to Anubis, quick rotations there, it's a lot easier to sort of rely off the back of these quick rotates, but on Dust2 not as much. You lose a sight, it's a long old road to get back into it.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really important.
I like this. I'm going to leave Deadshot here, and actually, sort of, we can just fall away. Slash doesn't need to stick around with him. It's a very good angle to hold. It's also very difficult to trade him as well, because you can just keep tucking his head, and they actually can't really shoot him. So that's a good angle to hold. That's a nice way to play that sort of mid-control, and then they can space out other ways. Go towards short, go over towards long, and the rest. And even if he smokes as well, the smoke, if they do the proper one, it bounces on the ledge of that box. But more often than not, people just throw it on the fly. And that on the fly smoke will leave in this gap at the top.
Well, also, they just don't have that many grenades right now on the T side anyway. So, like, for them to block off everything, I think it's going to be almost impossible. So, they might try and throw it. Ooh, I think that failed. Oh, I think that landed in the door somehow.
Yeah, it caused something.
Yeah, it's not exactly ideal because they wanted that to be for the mid-smoke here. They're in a lot of trouble right now. Egypt, they're going to have to power their way through on just the bullets alone. Slash will go down at the start, 30 seconds. They're pulling the pin on this one, but again, they know everything. Deadshot, his position is still pretty good, right? Because he's going to be able to tell the rest of the team they are definitely coming back to this A-bomb side. Awesome at long takes down Bingo. Not necessarily a bad start to the defense here. 3 versus 3 now as Wezo goes down and Deadshot comes back in. Huge impact of the round in terms of the information and certainly in terms of the double kill here.
Yeah, it's a really nice hold, actually. Good rotation coming back over. Good reaction from South Africa as well. And it will be a first round on the board for them. Gun round goes successfully. No complaints from them at all. And an AK upgrade as well. You're going to take that every day of the week. Will mean now Egypt go back into a buy of their own. Without the bomb plant, it's going to be a little bit more because somebody's going to have to take a hit somewhere in terms of util. And you sort of see that alone. Wezo don't have a full belt to work with, but at least it's off the buy. That was a bonus round regardless. So it's not the most damning thing in the world. But a really nice control out the gates in South Africa. Good call. The boost comes up. Deadshot relayed all this information over as well. When Slash falls, he sees nobody cross, and he heard the rotations back away in towards doors. So they know they didn't have to commit to too much B aggression or too much mid aggression too. They knew they could stick around towards A and it'd be fine.
Would have been fun to see Egypt execute that plan with the smoke landing in CT spawn, just to see if they had more of a chance. Obviously, like, that set them up very, very badly to do anything that round, unfortunately. So, still, if they win this round, South Africa, then it gets a little bit more interesting. Egypt, they're going to be out of money, and it could be, again, another good start for South Africa. They certainly had that on Anubis. Really, really good rounds early on. Looks like it's going to be a split towards the A-bomb site with Bingo, kind of the straggler, going to be lurking out on long, see if he can take down Tristan, who's on the other side. Deadshot. Dangerous if you re-peek it now. Flash to set it up. He does go for it, and he will go down. Yeah, not exactly the play you want to go there, especially when you're a known quantity. Not the way to go about it. Tristan, sort of this insurance policy out towards long. Wonder how much he can get behind this. Nate goes a little early there, in all fairness. B2K starts to climb up in towards the site itself. Bingo. A big fight to be taken for him. Starts to make a bit of a move. He does clear it, but he can't get the kill. Slash, Tristan, one apiece, and that will give them the man advantage in this retake. Still a world behind it. Double kit to work with. Bit of util as well towards the CT side. Far from out of the realms of possibility. And Exy and Slash going to get one apiece, leaving it all down to FaZe. 1v3, tucks in towards Goose. Bouncing around, trying to find a fight, but it's not going to work in his favor. Tristan will deliver. South Africa 2-4-2, important. And yeah, we get a bomb plot Egypt, but with not that full loss bonus, they're not going to get a buyout properly in this next round. So this should be South Africa taking the lead. If Tristan doesn't win the fight against Bingo along, I think South Africa called the save right then and there.
I think so too.
It's over almost instantly because you just can't do it with no long presence.
Yeah.
Really well played. That's super sick. He obviously picks up the AK, goes back, wins the last fight there. They actually have stolen 3 AKs, I believe, now on the CT side. It's super sick. So much to carry forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Egypt in a little bit of trouble at the beginning here. They're going to be buying some Tech 9s to try and do some more damage, but expectation is that South Africa should be able to win this round.
Yeah, exactly. Full guns out over towards the CT side. This is a more than fine position for them to be in. Only Molly deep in towards upper tons. That will just slow them down. If they wanted to go for a B pop, they have to go through the flames, and I don't think you want to be taking a risk of that, especially considering Alone doesn't have armor, and even with the half armor guys, makes him so vulnerable. Slash just holding for a swing out in towards door here. Got the right idea.
Pull the trigger now, it'd be a lot of damage, but obviously you can't know that. Nice pop. There's the smoke they were looking for earlier. Now they can try and put their way towards the B-bomb side. Oh, but the smoke blows open. It's not bad at all. Some good damage, slows them down, makes them a little bit confused as to try to get into the site. More grenade damage, and the defense is holding rock solid, only losing Slash. I don't know. I like the plan from Egypt, to be honest. I mean, that's a good idea. Just didn't quite get into the B-bomb side.
It's a really nice little 1-2 punch there as well. You got the one player holding doors that rotate in through mid, and he can catch players jumping up towards heaven. He catches 2, but actually there's a back box player who is that insurance policy for the B site itself. Awesome is sort of expected to be traded inevitably at some point there, but the back box player holds raw rotations, means Awesome doesn't need to look over towards tunnels at any point because he knows his teammates got him backed, and it's a really nice little hole. Simple stuff coming through, and it'll be another round for South Africa. Egypt back into the buy. Of course, South Africa having a map up already, taking Dust2 will book their spots into the final, and of course the World Esports Championship already. Pretty sick for them. Tunisia already there with their win earlier over Namibia in that 2-0 fashion. Pretty close game in that one. This one also had a lot of life in it too. We had overtime map number 1. This Dust2 being Egypt's pick, it has that feeling that it could be a bit of a lengthy one as well.
They need pretty clean entry towards long. They might be able to get it. See if the flash is going to be working. Oh, it doesn't quite. Good position for Deadshot. I mean, that could have easily been a double kill. You can see Alone and Bingo taking so much damage behind it, but they do make it out. I wouldn't say it's clean, but it gives them a bit of a position to do something with. They still have Wezo, who's hanging out there in lower dark. If he gets caught here, then it's a kind of a one-dimensional attack towards the A-bomb site, so it'd be really important for Wezo to stay alive. Should be able to. Oh, the timing's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well played from Awesome. Good due diligence just to do his clearances, make sure nobody's up close. They're starting to scale up on towards the A site. They'll come over. Good chunk of damage of Bingo. Still keeping the numbers in favor of Egypt.
They have more grenades, though.
Yeah.
Bomb planted, Molotov down in front here. Oh, they're taking so much damage from the Molotov. HEs haven't killed anyone yet, but 3 versus 3, and with a massive health lead here for the South African side. It is looking pretty good on them at the moment here. We'll see if they're going to be able to actually get that bomb defused. Flash on over. Exit trying to make his way a little bit closer, almost pre-firing that angle. That's so sick, and he will win the fight. He just knew Bingo's dead, and now it's just alone out at long, 1 versus 1, and the bomb is not planted for him. It should be an automatic win. He's trying to gain some coverage there. Oh, he might have been able to. If he committed, I'm not sure if he wouldn't have had it, but it will be the defuse for Slash.
I think he would have got it. If he commits that spray, I think he actually would have got him through the box. He was so low, but he just goes for the burst rather than the spray. And it will mean that South Africa a sigh of relief, but they just escaped with a round in their favor. 4-2, double the rounds of their opponent. Really decent position for them on this CT side. We are seeing as well South Africa going towards the AWP a hell of a lot earlier as well, right? We didn't see them basically pick it up at all in regulation. Tristan at last round, again got it this round too. So we're seeing these small things where South Africa realized that at range they were losing a lot of fights. They need to be able to compete with him. Didn't have the spawn for it, so he's just there on a util kind of supporting basis in this round for the long peak. And Egypt's going to barrel up in towards Cat.
Yeah, it might be one of the signs where you just don't need to slow down. Just keep going, like you don't have that much to work with. Just, try to make the speed the real damage here. We're actually out. Slash is calling it in, saying I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, nice flash to be set up. That's so sick. Double kill, that will slow them down. If they can allow the bomb plant, that's fine. You don't have to fight to the death for that one. Let him at the bomb. Just make sure you get the retake every time. There is alone on that AK. Don't underestimate him.
Yeah, that pop flash pretty good. Catches the AWP, was posted. Alone going to get caught. He was meant to try and give them a little bit of something to work with, alleviate the pressure. Quick reaction from Tristan with it all. Quick flick and a find, and it will be yet another round for South Africa. But in that round, low buy from Egypt. They go for a quick play. All we're actually looking for is a bomb plant. So bomb plant on the kill, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. They will have a nice full buy-in towards the next, and it's fine. That was always feeling like a little bit of a throwaway anyway.
It was, but there's so many little details you learn, right? Like Slash, I think, plays that really expertly. He notices how many are coming out catwalk. He doesn't go for any fights. He waits for the teammates to flash him in, and then he commits to it. Like those are the kind of positions easily, if you get a little bit panicked or you just have too much of an ego and you want to fight, you know they don't have a lot of weapons, so you're like, I could get like a triple spray down here. And then you die, and suddenly the whole round is turned upside down. So like, very good discipline. I think that's super encouraging. That makes them a much stronger team, much harder to rely on like a single player making a mistake if none are coming through.
No, very true. Back into the investments for Egypt. This time, FaZe will pick up the AWP as well. See somebody to keep an eye out for. He had a slow first half, but when he got that AWP out, he really started to look very, very good. This is brilliant proactivity, but actually will be a bit of an overextension. XG's going to dip away, drops a smoke, but he might try and bait out a fight, and actually works in his favor. Surely, we're not going dry for this. We are. One by one, they peek through, and Tristan gets involved a little bit as he helps out XG, but pushing through a smoke dry like that by Egypt is a bold call, and one which most definitely does not pay off.
Yeah, the bomb is off on the other side. Oh, still just taking so much damage through this one. They're going to get mowed down. Sick defense. There's something really funny that happens sometimes when one player goes through the smoke. It's like the rest feel like they have to commit. Yeah, because you feel like, well, there's a chance he's reloading now, or maybe I just kind of like catch it, like, and then all that really happens is you just get knocked down one by one by one, and like, that's a bit of a shame, a little bit of a domino effect almost.
And I think it's part of this mindset. Nobody wants to be known as a beta, right? It's like the classic, right? So I think in that sense, it's like, oh, my teammates died for a smoke. I'm going to, even if I die here, at least I'm not a beta. At least I've sort of tried to help. But I think, again, we always talk about kind of percentage-style Counter-Strike, and that's a prime example of where you're dry peeking through a smoke. Odds are you're going to lose this fight regardless. It takes longer for you to kind of be able to see anything before, obviously, they can see you. So,
and you're coming out covering a super wide angle, and they're covering such a low angle just looking at the smoke, right?
Exactly.
So like, it's very, very much easier in that sense, too. What a position for Awesome to find himself in. Would have been sick for the double. I still think it's kind of cool because it does throw the T side a little bit. Normally say 1-for-1, it's probably going to be favored the T side, but I think in this kind of scenario, you are putting them at a huge unease, right?
Yeah. Gained so much information. He spotted another one there. It wasn't the bomb, but at least it's enough for them to kind of slightly drag over.
Well, maybe even more so. I think they spotted alone in lower dark, and when you catch like players out long and one in lower dark, that's almost always like a long setup, right? Like it's a classic 4-1 split. So I'm sure they have a pretty good idea what's happening. We'll see the smokes going up for the cross here.
Interesting, they don't rotate over until just now, right?
Yeah.
For a while, they actually just left Exy on the side and just said, or Deadshot on the side, and it said, do your thing. He could be in a bit of trouble here. Will fall. Damage dealt, sure, but Bingo going to get one of his own. And now we're starting to talk about them executing on towards the A site. Bomb will go down to left alone. And do we actually even give this a go?
I don't think so. It's still there's still some of the half left to be played. They don't have an infinite amount of money. I'd say if they all had like 10,000 now, but yeah, sure, like just try it. But we are only here in round number 9, so I feel like there's a little bit of time still. Like they could end up ecoing a couple of rounds, and if they do that, then Egypt are going to be right back. So
and they'll know as well that Egypt, they haven't seen it, and they know they just financially won't be able to have an orb. You don't want to give them that for free, right? You want to force them into kind of investing in towards that to keep their economy at check. You don't want to give them that sort of a real present, a real cherry on top of already a round 1. So far, it's still so good for South Africa. 6-3, sure, but they've already guaranteed bare minimum tie game at the turn of the half, and the way they're playing at the moment, the expectation is at least one more round before we head in towards that second half. So they're not under any pressure. That one, a couple of lost fights, maybe a slight bit of misinformation that kind of causes a rotation or a late rotation over, but in the end, it is what it is. 6-3, and they will keep Egypt afloat as well. Fights come back in for them. West, I'm assuming we'll get a drop over from B2K, and it should be fine, so they can get that full AKs across the board.
Truth is, such an interesting part of this map, but like once you get that long control on Dust2 for the T side, even if the CTs know, even if they drop, pull people over, is not at all a guarantee that you're going to be able to defend the A-bomb side. So I feel like very often, like it seems a bit bizarre because on most of the maps it just doesn't work like that, but you can kind of say we take long, we go A, and it doesn't matter if they know, as long as we've got the right protocols, the right flashbangs, and everything else. You can get better positions, or you can obviously have better strategies where you thin out the defense more. But sometimes even if it's 5-on-5, right? Like if you're just taking a bunch of aim duels, like you might come out on top. Like think about it this way: like if every round is more or less a coin flip, like win half the rounds, like that's pretty decent. Like, you're doing something right. Obviously trying to do better than that, but oh, another nade. Ouch.
Yikes. And the molly to follow it as well. What a setup. A lot of damage being dealt there. Bingo starts this round out 20 points of HP. Interesting as well from Egypt. Early part of that round, out of spawn, even the players who have long spawn, they don't go for control. Not even really fighting for it. They throw one flash and that's it. Nice shots from Tristan. Headshot through the pole will catch him. Beautiful. And we'll put Egypt in a really dark spot. The only silver lining, that was the low player. That was Bingo on 20 points of HP. So I guess you can take a small silver lining away from that and say, if anybody was going to fall, it is the guy who was basically already 1 foot in the grave.
Bit of a lurk smoke being set up to try and enter the B-bomb side with, but they're not doing anything behind it yet. So maybe just baiting out a couple of shots or some last Molotovs that might be on the B-bomb side here. 45 seconds. Flash in. There really almost no more grenades. I think, Tristan actually has another smoke, so that's pretty sick. We'll see if he's going to be able to set that up. He's going to be trying to see if he can do anything on the plateau. They set up the same lurk smoke that they did before, so they can try and play around it. You've got the right idea, Tristan, but you have to hit the shot. They're right there in front, nearly lined up for a 2-for-1 shot. Awesome helping out, and this defense looking very tight. 2 versus 5 right now, and Egypt just no business getting into this bomb site. It's absolutely done. That's so well played.
That's a beautiful hold. It really is. All Tristan has to do is focus on that right-hand side because he knows Awesome's got it covered on the left-hand side. Unless they're pushing through a smoke, which even then, Slayer's going to catch them. So, I mean, everything sort of works really, really well in terms of that setup by South Africa. And we're starting to see now where they've got a very good chokehold on the momentum of this game. Very favorable over towards the African side. And this is a good spot that we find ourselves in. Egypt under a little bit of pressure. Wouldn't mind seeing attack pause sooner rather than later. Maybe in towards the next full gun round.
Oh, wait a minute. So, are they going to be street rushing B? I was going to say every round that Molotov's been thrown from the B defense, but I mean, you can smoke it and run through.
Yeah.
And there's only one person here. That actually would have been fun to see, but they decide to, they call it off. They're like, no, not really.
If any round you were going to do it, now would be the round, though, wouldn't it, right?
Yeah,
You've got Tech 9s on the move. They're so good in those sort of situations. This is a nice little change up from Awesome. This is an angle we haven't seen them play so far, and a lot of their util sets are mainly for people back sight. He's going to be a bit of an unknown entity here.
He should win the first fight, Awesome, and he will. No one else coming through on that side. We'll see if he can actually stay alive. Yeah, push into this. I like this. You might as well. Why defend the bomb side if you can help your team retake? 2 versus 3. Oh, they're pushing actually back through. Dead shots on this side. Through the smoke. I have no idea how they win that fight. That should have been the end of them, or at least the double kill there, but somehow they've made it out, and it's going to be a 4th round here for Egypt, surely.
Well, you say that, but maybe also might be tempted. Flash and a kit.
He's got
and
the
not
money.
taking any damage. Why not give it a go? The only thing you could really lose in this situation already bar the round is the AK, but why not give this a little look? And that flash is perfect, but he actually doesn't fall or take any damage. Molotov comes down. FaZe sitting behind it, he's low as well, so FaZe doesn't really want to overfight. It's a double stack, and they could actually technically line up, but he goes 1 for 1. Oh, for a moment, that felt like a possibility. But FaZe just goes slightly unclear, then it will be Egypt back in towards their winning ways. For a brief moment, you could see how South Africa could win that.
Yeah, closer. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of ways. What a wicked round that was. Well played for Awesome, but just not quite enough. All right. Egypt, a much-needed round. They absolutely had to pick that one up. See if they could do anything here. Round number 12 is going to be coming up, and say South Africa already done a pretty good job. If they get 8 on the board, I mean, that sets them up very, very nicely. Remember, they lost the pistol as well. Like, this is a very good look.
If you got 8-4 off the losing pistol on the force, that's actually not a bad spot at all.
Happy.
It just shows the bulk of the gun rounds have actually been only really one-sided.
Oh, what's he doing?
This is ballsy, and it's not going to work out. I don't actually hate that play there. They've not actually been too aggressive in towards long throughout this game at all. So for Egypt, they probably wouldn't have expected. The one time there was aggression, Awesome came through Cat. It was a different play.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of like bombardment of that position. So they might also be thinking, you know what, they're probably a little bit scared of getting grenaded. Trade comes in, Awesome, trying to save the round. It's not too late, but it is kind of hard to bring this one back. For a brief moment, there was a 5-on-3. They're out on long, and they have the utility to make the execute. So, you know, you can throw the smoke once, try and bait out a little bit of some grenades on the CT side. Wait, do it again.
They're not committing the bomb here as well, which I quite like, even though they're super aggro. I mean, they're already up towards CT at this point. But bomb not committed. Also going to find a frag. Oh my god, and they all fall in place in a matter of moments, toppling like dominoes. FaZe left all alone in a 1 versus 3 and got it all to do. And already tagged as well to make matters worse. Tristan posted on the angle. Good luck. Missed shot. Can't find the fight. And he runs out of ammo to make matters even worse. 8-4 South Africa. That is a statement of a first half. On your opponent's map pick with a map under your belt already. Time is dwindling for Egypt to get in towards this game, and they are running out of it.
Yeah, that round stings a little bit. I appreciate what they tried to do, but like Awesome made such a big difference, right? He won the first fight in the middle, then he caught the late rotation in towards Catwalk there, and obviously came back to finish off the job. That was really sick. Well done. Egypt, yeah, they're definitely in some trouble here. This is their map pick as well.
Yeah, don't find a pistol. We could probably already talk about this potentially maybe being game, set, and match, right? We're talking about that at that point, 10-4 for South Africa. More often than not, I mean, that surely should be game, set, and match.
Okay, they have a flash and a smoke, so presumably flash on over, smoke for the cross. If Alone doesn't get a couple of headshots here, he's going to have a... Yeah, all right, he's going to fall back immediately. I was going to say, that's the choice you have to make. Like, go either fight to the death, or you just immediately escape.
It's actually really well played. It's good discipline there as well. He doesn't need to overextend. And now a smoke will come down towards CT. He might have a little gap to work with for this first engagement before it plumes, but he can't quite capitalize on it.
Reloading. The Glocks are coming for him. He's got some backup. Bingo. Landing the headshots, but Awesome is just as good on the other side. He's really come into his own right now. He's got 16 kills. Bomb is going to be planted. 3 versus 3 in the after plant, and I'm not seeing a kit. I don't know if they had one. If he would have been on Alone or Bingo. That's really important right now for them, because otherwise they're going to run out of money or run out of time very quickly. Slash with a good headshot. Awesome. Wants his 4th kill. He's almost got it. Hasn't reloaded yet. I think he's done enough here. He's the assist on the last 2 as well. What a round from him. And South Africa now well on their way.
Yeah, I mean, only a couple more hurdles they have to overcome to be able to take this map and this series and go towards the World Esports Championships. They're so close. Now, for Egypt, unfortunately, they can't really do anything in this situation. We're talking about them being a low buy towards this round and most likely a 10-4 situation. That's going to require some real heroics to get in towards this. And I feel like, unfortunately, maybe even too little too late. Time seriously dwindled in this game. And on their map pick, they just never got into this.
Yeah, now you need some real heroics from some individuals, right? They stacked the B bomb site. don't mind, don't either love it or hate it. Like, you
Yeah.
have to do something, so you're just kind of hoping. I'd say South Africa so far, they've been very disciplined. I'd be surprised if they just walked into a bomb site without
True.
doing a little bit to check it out. So, yeah, if you throw the MAC-10 in and it dies, that's fine, not a big deal. That's kind of what it's meant to do. So, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, in the open. The Max actually doesn't confirm the kill, but I think it's actually quite well played because you have no idea that's just the gamble stack. And he will fall back, bait in a couple more fights. XC spotting out nothing. Close, jumping around
Now
the
he
corner.
knows.
Spots 2 more, they know it's a B stack. Just barrel on towards A.
Yeah. So, absolutely all in ears. Very well played. Even if he got 0 kills, but he spots like 4 players, that's still fine.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. But yeah, getting the double, making a little bit of money, and securing the round. Well played.
Yeah, really well done. Wesso hoping to get a little fortunate. Actually, just get a kill there. Not the worst thing in the world. Awesome gets caught. But this round is done. FaZe, all that's left. 21 points of HP. Surely not going to get off the ground here. He's just going to try and pick up whatever he can. It's a MAC-10. It may have something to work with the tail end. He can get a kill with it, but a bonus will add to his investment in towards the next round, but it's not going to change the matter of the fact. South Africa, 10-4. Inching ever closer to the all-elusive 13. Only 3 more rounds they need, and probably 1.5 full buys is kind of what we got. The full buy here, probably an eco in towards the next, and maybe a force in towards what potentially could be the last. So we already spoke about how time's really running out for Egypt, and now you can kind of see it as a matter of fact. Only 3 rounds more South Africa need.
Yeah, they're having a hard time like getting any kind of like ground beneath them, right? Like they're just in free fall right now. It's becoming a real big issue. Out long we go, no delays, no breaks. It's bingo to start with. Egypt need like 3 or 4 rounds in a row here, just flawless work. It's going to be Exeter getting a couple of kills back, and it's a lot of trouble for Wezo. He's going to go down, and again, the man advantage, and even more so now. Awesome in the middle. My God, he's been playing well for this Dust2 map. 17 kills, and the smoke is up. Oh, clean jump right over it. Couldn't have been better. Bomb is going to be planted here. And again, this way you want to see the discipline out of the last 2 South African players. Don't fight. Work together. Make sure you make a crossfire that he has to go into.
Like this, for example. Smoke going to come down, and that will block off Tristan just a little bit. Hot flash behind it, and he avoids it with ease. And they swing straight into his, well, not so loving arms. He sees him off. Headshot to close it. South Africa, 11 now for them. And a great position that they find themselves in now. Closer and closer. Only 2 more rounds they need, and like we said for Egypt, lose that round, it puts you in a low econ situation here in round number 16. Time seriously dwindling in this one. And that was a really nice play out towards long, right? We were working together. The pot flashes over are perfect. They're going for that palm tree flash that he's thrown now as the new variation in towards CS2, just because of the slight change in how long is compared to go. Works perfectly. Everybody body full blind. And the spam on the smokes, the volumetric smokes, opens up, and Wezo, poor guy, just gets exposed there. He doesn't even realize. Spam down, and down he falls. MP9. Few good pistols, but dead shot, awesome. We'll double it down. Super simple stuff, and he's looking for that 3rd.
Yeah, he is cooking right now. 20 kills in just 16 rounds. That is really, really good. There's a lot of small details, right? This round, I mean, they cleaned it up quickly, but they get the smoke on the long corner. They actually Molotov the middle, because if you just smoke the middle, the CTs can still run into lower dark. Like, you Molotov it from T-spawn. Yeah. And it's going to, like, they can do it, but they're going to take some damage. It's not going to be much fun. So, a lot of small, cool details for South Africa. Man, they're 1 round away from winning the series, and this one in a much more convincing fashion. It was overtime on the first map. This one is... It's all South Africa at the moment. Do you know what? It's quite funny in the sense as well that in our opening game of this tournament, the one that we casted with Morocco and Tunisia, it was overtime on Anubis, map number 1. Yeah, true. And then towards map number 2, which was their opponent's pick. Yeah. Slaughter. And this is unfortunately the case here. Double up for Egypt. So, like, this is the change up. Yeah, you got to try something. Nothing else has been working. Or straight executed. 1 entry, and the double up is actually going to bite them in the back. They're going to have a retake with 2 AWPs instead. There's 1, and there's the 2nd. Oh, this is an absolute stab in the back for Egypt. They needed to have a slow round where the orbs can work. Instead, you're retaking the most difficult bomb site with 2 AWPs. There's like 1% chance they can win this round. Yeah, it couldn't actually get worse. Like you said, statistically, the hardest site in CS2.
to retake, and now they've got to try and do it with a double orb, which orbs and the retake are awkward, and they've only got now one more flash to work with for Wezo. Popping them in, Dead Man walking here, has to be said, Bingo will fall, down to 2, down goes Wezo, and FaZe will fall as well. South Africa, map number 2, taken cleanly. 13-4, and the series closed out 2-0. What a performance from them in towards their opponent's map pick, and they make it look easy.
Yeah, very well played. I've got to be honest, like a lot of discipline, a lot of cool little details that kind of shows you they have like a high appreciation and a good understanding for the game.
Yeah.
It's fun as well to see Awesome come out with some really cool rounds at the end, like obviously on the map number 1. The highlights were, you know, on the rest of them, like Slash had a couple of good rounds, all the rest of it, right? But he really came into his own on the second map here, so super well done.
Yeah, Awesome were great all the way throughout, taking a lot of kind of those owners in the early fights and really good information gathering from him. But a really good game, and considering with Egypt, things started okay for them. They got the opening couple of rounds, and everything was sort of slotting itself into place. They just got obliterated when it came towards the gun rounds. The second South Africa got any sort of investment, it only went one way.
So crazy, isn't it? Like, how does that even happen? Like, they were well matched on the first map, right?
Yeah.
So kind of hard to explain how that happens. Maybe a little bit of a collapse on the mental side for Egypt. Playing in overtime and losing it could have been, like, it cost you a lot, right? And then you can't really get things going on the second map. But yeah, well played overall for South Africa. That's really cool. Kind of living up to the hype.
Yeah, I always sort of say that you'd much rather lose a map like 13-3 because you can just sort of forget about it. But if you go for like a grueling overtime scenario and then you lose, it can be quite kind of hurtful. We were so close, but we weren't able to close it out. And I think maybe it might have had some lingering effects. So Egypt, it really took them a lot to even get kind of competitive in some of these rounds. They struggled to get active. And credit to South Africa. What a performance from them. Really great throughout. Of course, it's not end of the road for Egypt. Of course, they're going towards that third match playoff against Namibia. So still definitely a chance. But Namibia also had a really good couple of moments in that first series of the day. So definitely going to be a really interesting third place playoff game there. But for South Africa, credit to them. They, of course, have locked themselves in towards that grand final on the WEC spots. That's all they would want to see. I think we're going to throw it over towards potentially the host to have a little interview off the back of that. But thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure in that series. And South Africa 2-0, congratulations.